Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am on the road. I checked in. I didn't travel too far today for those who have been following along for the journey. And let's start right there, man. Blessings to all of you who find your way to be a part of this adventure, even with the spontaneous scheduling, diverting from the consistency of the past and the regularity that we were all accustomed to. For those of you who have been with me, I trust you understand what I'm saying. Praise God, man. Praise God for the day. The day it's been another journey, an interesting part of my journey again today. So I'm grateful to be where I am, comfortable and safe. Checked into a hotel again. I bargain 2-star hotel for the working class like me. Praise God. Here on the thumbnail, as a matter of fact, is there we go. is kind of where I'm at. I went from Kansas City yesterday to just beyond St. Louis. I made it to the Illinois side of the river as it appears. So just past that, but traveling along, and me and Smokey, pictured in the thumbnail, she's still with me. Boy, today though, these thoughts came from today. The dominant narrative. That's the topic we're going to open the link up and start discussing in a little bit. The dominant narrative, and it is, what's a narrative? It's the stories we tell. The stories we tell ourselves become the directions we take. The stories I've been telling myself about Jack and what my options are, those stories I've been telling myself have led me to where I am. Here in St. Louis, man. Praise God. It's an adventure. So I have consciously tuned in, and I encourage you, I invite you to tune in to you. Tune in to the words you hear you saying. Why? Check on your alignment with the truth. Are you truly where your heart wants you to be? Are you truly doing and experiencing the life of your dreams? If you're not truly living as you want to be, ask yourself, why not? There's nothing holding us back except our excuses. And excuses in my life turned out they were not real. See, I thought I had reasons. I had all these reasons for how I felt and the life I was living. I had to do the things that I did. There was no other choice but to go to my job and to do what I did. There was no other choices for me. I had to earn a living. Why does it cost money for humans to live on Earth? Can we talk about that topic as well today? Seriously? Because this life we're living, it's not the way it's supposed to be. Although it's perfectly how it is, so everything that is perfect. And it feels good to be with perfection. That's where I found myself when I devoted myself to God. I was considering these thoughts earlier today, finding your purpose, finding your higher purpose, your greater purpose. What is your purpose for your life? If you never stop to consider those things, how are you going to ever know? Your purpose isn't just to pay bills or to support those who you No. Those who you choose. How about that? We use our responsibilities. I'm speaking as a man because I know the man that I know, and I know that most men are a lot like me. We use our response, and women do the same thing. There's not that big of a difference, but I've just never lived as a woman in this lifetime. I couldn't tell you from experience. Oh, praise God. I love being me. And you know what? If you want to come and hang out with me, um, if you want to come and hang out with me today, feel free. Let's have some fun conversations. I'm going to open it up earlier, and it looks like I should go back to some of these chats too. I got an extra screen here now. I got the TV hooked up to the laptop, and so I got, man, this is fun living. Did you know it could be fun to have a human life, to be alive in many circumstances? It doesn't have to be perfect for you to have fun. Oh, back to the point where I was going. Purpose, finding your purpose, your greater purpose, that is with God. You go to God and you find a greater purpose. And when you find a greater purpose, something greater than you that you need to achieve, right? You feel this in you, and you don't know how you could accomplish it, but you know it needs to be done by you. When you find that greater purpose, you're going to go to God to get it done. If you're wise, if you're foolish, you'll just think you can do it on your own. But if you're wise, you'll go to the Most High, the divine reflection of you, who is God. Hey, I'm pretty sure this is who I think it is. Is this welcome back, Duck?
This is Jack. How are you?
Good. How are you today, brother?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. Where are you? Sorry if I missed this. Are you still in Kansas, or are you on the road again still?
I had to get away from Powder Dusty and Flow State, man. He fucking wore me out with his nighttime schedule. So I ran away from Kansas City, and I made it just past about St. Louis, Missouri area.
Cool.
So,
Well, Dusty's got a head for trouble on himself. I suppose you also have places to be and all that stuff.
you
Things
know,
to do.
he's he's focused on what he's focused on, and he's a ball of energy. And I had a lot of fun. I really did. I had a lot of fun hanging out with him and collaborating with him. So I actually hope to see the man again. But yeah, I was just joking that I had to escape.
I could see how some people could be confused, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
good to see your face twice within the last 24 hours. You regardless.
I appreciate that. I've been having fun. Um, there was something that came up. Oh, I've had an adventure though, even since yesterday's stream. Oh, when I mean I had to escape, because the first day um, I traveled all day. I drove like, I think I drove for about 8 or 9 hours, and then stayed up until 3 in the morning with Powder Dusty live streaming. Yeah, I'd been up since like 5, and then stayed up till 3, and then my alarm went off at 7:30, so I got up to stay up until 5 the next morning.
So Jack, I have a question for you. I don't know if this is too abrupt an intro into your topic, but I personally cannot help myself. Um, I'm curious if part of your narrative in this like new exciting sort of, you're doing a lot to give back to folks on YouTube and all this other stuff. You're seeing a lot of places. But I'm wondering if you consider yourself like an owner of your own schedule. Like, you were talking about Salt Lake City, the Great Northwest, all this other stuff. Who's in charge of all that?
What do you mean by in charge? The schedule? I have owned me. Here's where I'm at, though. I've surrendered the old me to try something different. This has been, consecutively. It started with my stop drinking, but I let go of the old me to try something different. And the more different that I've tried, the different I wanted is in the likeness of perfection, towards the example of Jesus, kind, forgiving, patience, fearless, right?
Those are all easy ones to accept. Yeah. Yeah. For me personally. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The more I sought to grow in those things, the more challenged I got. And it actually makes sense in a philosophical or a spiritual perspective. You devote yourself to God, and the darkness is going to be set upon you because you're going to be tested. Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want? I'm damn sure that this is what I want. I'm devoted to following the truth with love. That's the way of Christ. That's the Tao. The Buddhas were, it's all coming together. It's all the same thing, all the same ways. The world is insane. We were taught to believe in lies collectively. Here's the topic, the segue into the topic. The dominant narrative has become that wealth and authority are powerful. Wealth and authority are no powerful than their checkbooks and the obedience that they buy. So the illusions of wealth and authority have been the dominant narrative. What we believe in becomes real because you will follow the course that proves what is real. It's a glorious experience that all of us are sharing. But if we can start changing the paradigms of the minds, we can change the narrative of today. And what we say today creates the day. What the day creates today leads us into tomorrow. And my mind has been filled with a new world for a long time. I envision this world constantly because I know that through the power of mind and God's will, all ideas are from the Most High. They're either filtered through the light or through the darkness. But these ideas of ending wars, I'm dead serious about. It's time to try.
Well, you're gonna get a lot of that, Jack. And I don't want to. I mean, whatever. I don't want to ask too heavy of a question or whatever it is. But if you're staying at whatever it is, Motel in 17 or some random shit in St. Louis, and that only gets bigger as you get closer to Washington, right? And so this is in terms of narratives, one of the things I see on the Jack Ryan sort of Navy SEAL style movies is there's no excuses at some point, if you're going up against something that big.
I'm all in. I'm convinced. The more I thought about doing more in the world, the better I felt about myself. Okay, so all seriousness, I don't know what the future is going to bring. My plan right now is before Monday, I hope to schedule some conversations, some meetings with officials from the United States Postal Service or officials from the American Postal Workers Union. Both of them are headquartered in Washington, D.C. Both of them are associated with me and my past. And I'm hoping that we can reconnect today, Monday, and they can join with me so that we can go together to Congress and to Donald Trump And his representatives, right? His delegations of authority, his voice, his people he sends out to the rest of the world. Well, I'm ready, coach. Put me in. It's time for the world to know peace. Let's go. It's time to end wars. It's time to end the blame that keeps the world divided. Blame keeps the world divided. It keeps people from solving problems, keeps people from reconciling. Blame is a result of judgment. There's scripture and warnings in the Bible. There's a lot of people around the world who claim the title of Christian, but they don't hold the understandings of the Christ. I believe God has blessed me with an education, the education that I've received. I've received these knowings for a reason, and so I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. Live without fear. I've been saying since I received it, I think this is a message from God. Anyone want to join me in sharing this message with the world? You got the PBS logo, man.
Yeah, PBS is like a Swiss Army knife for whatever, for just simple Americana stories. It's comfortable for me. I know some people have different context with it, but I like PBS.
I'm actually a fan. I've seen good-natured, wholesome presentations on there, so I don't know. This world we live in. Oh, go ahead if you've got something, Duck. I can keep going on and on.
Well, I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna warm you up a little bit, Jack. So I've got one of those. This is one of those 2.5-inch nails questions. So in terms of narrative, some people will say, you're not the first former postal service worker who wants to go back to Washington and change the system. And so, this isn't like a new thing. What about your own message do you think stands out? Like, what do you got, what do you got in the, what are you taking from hotel to hotel that Washington's going to want to hear you on?
I've been explaining it every day. Why God hasn't brought the understandings, I don't know. There's a lot of people who claim I'm wrong. They just want to prove me wrong, but don't want to support changing anything. Then there's a lot of people who say they've heard it all before. And what you're offering, Doc, if others have tried, great, okay. I don't know of anyone who's tried to do what I'm doing, but I'd love to learn from them. I'd love to collaborate with them. I'd love to see if we can get the ball across the line, right? Let's move forward. Just because things have not been done in the past doesn't mean it's not time today. And see, what I've been learning, Duck, I am a messenger for the truth of God's love. That is honest and clear and concise and accurate.
It feels like that a bit, Jack, in a good way.
I hope so, because when these things are shown to be true, when it's shown, the dominant narrative, right? When the dominant narrative is with me, which is with the truth, my narrative is that Donald Trump's family, the American families, every citizen in America and people around the world will all be happier when Donald Trump and I communicate together, right? Once he does understand what I'm saying, and once he does, kind of convert and reform his own ways, and he sees the opportunities that I see before him. So if the dominant narrative becomes, hey, Donald Trump should actually meet this guy, Jack Talcott, well, a couple of calls between the right people, it could happen today. I could have conversations through this technology today if people wanted to get it done with me. I wouldn't have to drive there, but praise God, this life I am living, God has shown me a lot of lessons, life lessons. I was shown some today. And it was in reflection of the recent experience with flow state and my own life and moving the directions I am. I thought I lost my cat today. She disappeared on me at a rest stop. And so I moved forward with confidence, but then in my mind, I went through the grieving process today. I left her behind. And I had just been talking to her about how she's the last bit of family that I've got. She's the only family that I've got, right? She's the one who's with me. She doesn't have to be a people to be a family with me, man. I'm a family with the universe. But what helped me today actually was the conversations recently with flow state. One of the things I recognized in him is he's got a deadness inside of him. And I don't know if that's the right word. It's coldness. It's a hardened. It comes across as a deadness.
I can see it. Yeah.
It's a way of dealing with trauma, with past pains. It's a hardening and a strengthening. It's not bad.
Yeah. Sure. But and not to talk over your cat story. But I'm just saying it would be it's a little nice to see the optimism from time to time. That's not the worst thing that someone could, being a little optimistic and hopeful. I love your slogan, live without fear. That's like and that's part of the reason why like it's nice to hop on your panel. It's also nice to hop on Dusty's panel because there's just so many there's just great people in this kind of small disconnected community, all this stuff, whatever.
There's some great people we've come across. I agree with you. Absolutely. And I'm not dissing on him at all. I admire him, and that's what I mean. I learned to do that myself because I saw the benefit. He's been a lot more stoic in my experience dealing with him online. I had a lot of emotional immaturity I had to overcome, and I'm still working through it, but I learned from him. I don't think he saw the opportunities to learn from me. And that was unfortunate. That was part of my acceptance today, is even in person, he didn't investigate, or take me seriously for what I'm saying or doing. We did content, and that was serious, but anyway, dealing with a cat, I recognized that is the way of the Christ. You must be dead inside. You must have no attachment to anything, but not in a bad way, not in an insensitive way, in a way that you overcome any absences, any lack, any loss. That does not matter. The only thing that matters is God's love. God's love is always there. All I've got to do is remember. But today I did pray. I was feeling weak and afraid. And, did I make a mistake? Is she gone? Did I leave her? Did she get out? What's going on? She just hid me. She found a very good hiding spot. She crawled on my lap around St. Louis.
That'll take the fucking piss out of you, though. That would take the piss out of me. I got two cats. One is he's my boy cat he's very polite. He'll go outside. He does his cat thing. He will, for people that know cats or dogs, he's also super cool, just kind of chilling out on the patio, not being a slug, but not that a slug's bad, but he's just out there. And then I got one other girl cat's very curious. She's very small but very athletic, and she always wants to go outside, and she's not allowed out there. We gotta have that. We gotta have the gates closed, rules in place, all that kind of stuff. Just for her own safety and our little suburban lifestyle.
This one, she was the outdoor cat who loved to come inside. She loved being outside as much as she could. But she'd stay in it. She'd come in at night and most of the day. Um, she's adjusted to traveling with me real well. I was concerned about how she'd do, but she's actually done very well. And I guess today she just found a new hiding space and was more comfortable even without me. So,
well, the human logic is now one extra thing that she didn't know before, right? That's like the if there's a silver lining to any story out there, you still have a cat, and you got that.
well, this is what I've had to come to accept the life I've lived. And I thought, okay, God, are you doing this? Is this what's really happening? Because we don't control what comes in or out of our lives. But we sure don't control when things or people leave. We don't control anything, but we control what we do. And so this was my wonder, if she's gone, she's gone. What will be, will be. It's up to me to stay with what is true, right? So I looked for signs and I traveled. Everything's good. It was the mind of imagination, right? We play these stories in our head and we can cause ourselves a lot of inner grief. And that's where I was going to, is I did pray. I prayed for the spirit of comfort to. In my mind, though, when I pray for those things, I know that all good has already been offered. It's up to me to receive it. If I want to feel comfort, it's there. If I want to feel loved, it's there. If I want joy or happiness or all these things, they're always there. It's up to me to remember. And then when I can't find it, if it's not there, I seek and I ask. And I tell you, I believe it works. The prayer, asking for the spirits of comfort, the spirit of joy to be set upon you. I believe it works. The mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those. I'm not religious. I'm an atheist. We have some differences between our philosophies and stuff, but the Serenity Prayer. The line in the Serenity Prayer is, God grant me the forgiveness, or the wisdom to know the things that I can change and accept the things that I can't. And so to me, I personally, um, in my life, those mystical experience, those sort of mystic, almost gnostic experiences where life's going super good, um, or something just makes sense in a way that it's never made sense before. I just, my curiosity and the perspective of those things, um, those are always things to me that are grounding. um they create those sort of explanations that move from day to day in some sense. But just as, like, I know you're a veteran. I'm a civilian. I've always been a civilian, so I don't even need to say I'm a civilian, which is the great thing about being a civilian, is you don't have to explain it.
Right.
But part of the just part of the bullshit or crap of everyday life is, uh, to me, it's that, like, look, there's always these gnostic or sort of lived, experiential knowledge situations. Um, but those don't have to be that big. They don't have to be grandiose.
Agree. Please continue. I'm sending an invitation out, and I don't mean to be rude, but that's why I'm looking down.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, um, yeah, I'm trying to think of, I think there's like small things. So I go running every day. You know, and like, not that, I'm no, St. Thomas or whoever, but like, there's homeless dudes in my area that I'll say what's up to while I'm out on my jog. Um, and like this is one of those reminding things where it's like, well, look, I just saw one of the dudes that I used to talk to almost every day that I haven't seen now in fucking, it had been 4 or 5 months, dudes. And seriously, like I know that sounds like a weird thing, like some guy I don't really know. But like, those kind of small things remind me that like other people are also living their life too. That's one of my own, like that gnostic experience of other people, just again because I have autism, right? Like so like I don't have this deep social fiber connective bond to people, but when I have an experience that reminds me other people are out there, that's also one of the cool things that I like to emphasize.
It's the number of variables that connect us all. If given time and thought, you'll find them to be infinite.
Yeah, yeah.
What you're describing, Doc, that was part of my awakening. Is the recognition, not and it wasn't anything other than an acceptance. And by recognizing it, I could accept it. And I had to recognize that I was connected to everyone. The people I didn't like, the people I didn't want to know, the people I didn't know, I was connected to them all.
Okay, but Jack, okay, so just to, not that I'm not accusing you of anything, but to cut through some of the bullshit that has been rumored to exist in the panel universe on YouTube. But how many, for Jack Talcott, the Live Without Fear guy that I've met a couple of days ago, all this other stuff, how many masks does that Jack Talcott, have to get through this like big DC trip? You're active, you're creating content. So like who, if we're talking narratives, are you acting in your own show right now?
I love that question. How many characters are there with me? I actually believe there is one. I see my signal dropping. Hopefully it's still coming through, but I've been working on integrating my blind spots and my shadow. So I can honestly say that what I am online is what you're going to receive in person. I might yell at you in person too, but if you share respect with me, I'm actually a really fun guy, real easy to hang out with and get along with. Um, so how many characters are there with me? There is one me, and there's one of each of us. And this is what I learned though, the one character who is me, oh baby, I am multifaceted. I am a very complex and multi-dimensional being. Most people are. They just simplify themselves with these occupations or titles or diagnoses. We've been taught to be small. The dominant narrative has been to think small so you can fit in, obey so you can fit in. And if you fit in, then you got to think small because you got to compartmentalize yourself and all of your ideas. We're not here to be divided. We're here to be whole. It's a glorious story God offered us.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I'm thinking is like this outwardly looks and sounds also like it's like a split consciousness. Like, when Freud says, like we're talking right now, we're cool. But we had events in reality that took place today. I recalled a story from 4 months ago. You recalled two stories from the last couple of days. Um, I, I don't know where I was going with that. Um,
If it comes back, it'll come back. Um, the narratives. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
um,
Um,
yeah, but like waking up, like like a bones out of place or something. Like yeah, just some days, even with that normal, just identifying what's going on, not having a leg to stand on. Um, you know, um, you know, my experiences with this are, I don't know where this comes from necessarily, but um, it's not even about like normal life stress. I don't know if that makes sense to folks in chat or whatever, or if you've heard this talking to people over the last couple years, but like when I feel like out of place, my whole fucking thing is like, um, what is this one? My whole thing is like um, it seems like it comes from left field sometimes. Like the universe is just like moving, like shifting places or something.
the universe is constantly shifting, and we're going through an incredible shift here. We are not physical beings. The material world is just a reflection of the energies that they emerge from. We are far much more in our future. Doc, you're new to the Talcott adventure. That's right, just more recently. And I've been working on me for a while. So I'm hoping that my growth will result in growth. And so you're new to this. There's been a little bit of growth. I haven't yet found the connections I'm hoping for, but literally, I am on my way. I sent a message to my state senator, the Congressman Michael Baumgardner. Sent a message to, or left a message with the hopes that I'll get someone from their office's attention next week. I spoke with the APW president in Kansas City, and I'm trying to reach the APW president of St. Louis, so maybe they can help me coordinate, get some attention from APWU, and through them, I can easily get the Postal Service. And so if we can get these human beings together and get more people on this narrative, the narrative I want to share, brothers and sisters, let's make it very simple and very clear for all of us who are here today. The new narrative is, it is time. It is us. We are the ones. It is our opportunity to change this world. And so everyone you can think of who might get on board with this idea, it's time. The time is now. The time for reform, for peace, for ending wars, for people to take over, right? Rather than the systems having power, let's stop pretending in things that are not real. What is real is there are tragedies and some truly there's a lot of human suffering that can be avoided right now today. We're not, if you're tuned in with me, even whether you're live or later, we're amongst the blessed. Let's pause and be grateful for that fact. There's variations of everything, and we are amongst the blessed. We're not in a war-torn village. We're not in some impoverished area digging through trash, trying to recycle wires and crap. We are amongst the blessed. So let's join together. Peace on earth is here. It's hidden behind the blame and the divisions. It's really that simple. Hey, we got another guest here, and I want to welcome Our brother. Tarek, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you, Jack?
I'm feeling blessed. What's
I'm
new?
glad you are. So here's the thing, Jack. I've been on Tommy and trying to defend your side against Margot, Cynthia, Chuck, the whole gang. So Tommy promised me that if you go on his channel, because he wants to get to like a neutral ground where we're not able
Hey,
to talk to nobody, it's just you and him. And I'm just wondering if you're okay with it, because I've been trying to defend your side for the past half an hour. And at the same times, I also said what I don't agree with you on, but I also said why does the whole gang want to keep coming after Jack nonstop? And I just can't get nowhere. And I said, why can't you have Jack come here and say it so he can answer the question? And then that's all I'm here for. To ask you.
hey, Tarek. I appreciate that, and I respect what's behind what you're doing, right? Because what you're doing is you're standing for the truth, and you're trying to stand up for
Yes.
what's right. You're in this with me, okay? The lessons that we're being faced with is which battles are mine, which battles are worth my time, and
I agree.
for those battles, how much am I in? Am I all in, or am I just going to play around, or what am I going to do? I hope you're having fun. Okay. I hope you're just playing around with these clowns and not letting them get to you.
I'm trying to, Jack, but sometimes they just drive me nuts, like nonstop till now. You left your house so Mario can be happy and leave you the fuck alone. Excuse my language. And Chuck and other Cynthia and the whole gang keep finding little things they want to pick on. So I'm trying to have fun as I'm talking about it, but they're so adamant about talking about you on every single thing. They won't let it go.
I know. Sorry. I've tried.
So that's all I have to ask you. Yeah.
I've tried communicating with them myself, so I truly appreciate your efforts. Okay.
All right.
But here's something I've been learning. It has to do with my hopes of coaching people, right? I can't force anyone to learn. No one will learn what they're not ready to learn. No one will learn what they don't want to learn. Chuck and Cynthia and the others, they don't want to learn the truth of me, because then that would mean I was right. And if I was right, that means they were wrong. And if they were wrong, well, that's going to shift a whole bunch of their narratives. And they can't do that. They've been building friendships together.
Yeah. I agree.
So, Tarek, just pay attention to the story. But here's what I'm learning to trust. It's not my job to fight for the truth. I don't have to convince anyone of anything. The truth stands on its own. I can offer it. I can answer questions the best that I can. I can explain it, but I can't force anyone to understand. And part of this, admittedly, came with my conversations with our friend Hank yesterday. I'm trying to figure out, we've got some division in there between us still that he wants to get over and I want to get over. We just don't know how yet.
It's just crazy, Jack. After you left your house and all that, like these people, like every chance they get, and I'm not saying I keep telling them I don't agree with Jack on everything, and he's not perfect, but he's trying, right? But these people like keep nonstop. As soon as they hear your name, they come up and then nonstop bringing shit back and nothing but negative shit.
Sorry. I love you, my friend. Please don't exaggerate. Okay. I encourage you to watch. Maybe you're not exaggerating. Maybe you're accurate, but I encourage you, don't exaggerate, because they're doing it maybe a little more than they could. Yeah, definitely. Right.
Oh, they are.
Hey, and I never addressed your question. I don't I did consider starting the live stream and then maybe going over in my live stream to visit Paul or Tommy. But
Tommy said you'd be open to it if you want to restream it and go to him as well. And then he said he can even moderate between you, for example, and anybody, but it won't be Chuck. Chuck will be silent.
This could be an interesting experience.
It will be. That's what I'm saying. Tommy will moderate, and then it's up to you.
Tommy doesn't moderate. He tries to control, and I'm not a man who will be controlled. I will cooperate, but Tarek, here's the answer to the question you asked. It just came to me. Why are Cynthia and all these people, why are they getting so fired up with me? They cannot control me, and that confuses them. But
at the same time, I think they're miserable. Like I just told Tommy, like, let's just say everything you say about Jack is true, right? When do you leave the man alone? Like, just hypothetically, when do you leave the man alone?
Tarek, that's not their purpose. Their purpose is to learn from me. I've learned from them. I've learned about myself. I haven't learned as much from them because they keep themselves away from me. They want to treat me like an enemy. So I don't know them as well as I could. But if they joined me, which is actually what I believe God brought us together for, I've been saying this a long time now, Tarek.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree. I think God brought us together for a reason.
Can I ask Tarek a question?
Sure.
Mind? Okay, Tarek. So I have a question because I'm like actually not internet autism, but actual autism. So I'm curious if people like are saying that Jack is full of shit, or are they saying that he's like a sort of a fake person? Are they calling him a bitch? Like, what are the types of things?
I can answer that for you. They're calling Jack a liar first. They're calling Jack like his son does not want to talk to him, so stop pursuing it. They're calling Jack, for example, delusional because the war thing and stuff like that. So some, in their perspective.
Yeah, I would say Jack, and I'll say this to your face. You seem rational and like you have a good set of feet underneath you. So I wouldn't say any of those things.
Thank you.
I don't believe him, Tarek. I'm with you. We gotta correct the narrative on this Talcott thing.
Thank you, sincerely, and it's not just me. I believe this is our purpose. For those who tune in and catch this idea with me, carry it on for you. I believe our purpose is, while we are here to bring the correct narratives forward. That's what it means to be honest. We're here to be honest. We're not here to enable confusion and doubts with each other. We have a world where the entire system, this blame and there's something else. Blame and something, but blame is the primary thing that keeps us divided. We got to get beyond our blame. That's why the message from the Christ is forgiveness. Forgive, even if people are wrong, even if people have hurt you, forgive them. Understand that people make mistakes. We all do. But if we
I agree. But that's what I asked him, Jack. I asked him, Jack's not perfect, made mistakes. I make mistakes, right? And I asked Chuck, you're a Christian, right? Do you guys have mercy? Do you guys forgive? Or you guys can be doing this nonstop? Then he told me, well, he brought it on to himself because he asked us to go reach out for his family. The old saying and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's
Tarek, but Tarek, put this into perspective. They want to harass me because I asked for help with a problem that I've been unable to solve on my own. It's not like I've been ignoring my problems. It's not like I've been just running from my problems. I've been trying to solve my problems on my own, and I've asked people to please support me with that goal. And so, Tarek, you just testified. You were a witness. People want to blame me for what? For trying to see my kid? Holy shit, man.
Well, that's what I asked them, Jack. You know what they told me? And Tommy said it. I said, okay, let's just say Jack was wrong. He made a mistake in the past. Is it not Christian-like and Christ-like for him to reconcile with his son? Their answer is his son wants nothing to do with him. Jack should leave him the fuck alone. I said, that doesn't make sense. Because every father is always going to try to reconcile with his son if he's a good person.
Mm-hmm. Tarek, not only that, but they have no verification. They have no foundation, nor can they explain why. Why does my son allegedly not want to speak with me?
I told him.
I mean,
Jack,
he hasn't, but...
Yeah. No, I told him, Jack, even this just happened right now. I said, Tommy, you don't think the ex-wife maybe brainwashed the kid because she maybe hated Jack, whatever the case may be, went against him like the whole time to let him know his father was bad? That happens on many divorces or anything like that. They didn't agree with me. They said no. So it is what it is. So I'm just asking you, if you want to go, that's up to you to restream. Tommy's up to it. I'm just letting you know what he told me.
I appreciate it.
One thing I just want to say this too, is that, you know, my experience with like social situations is that some people think it's impossible, that you know, there can be misunderstandings, there can be ordinary things, and people invest so much time and energy into those things. And so that's just the point that I wanted to make. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Hey, Tarek, I appreciate the invitation. I don't know how much more effort I'm going to give people who want to hate me. Here's the deal, Tarek. All these people, I've actually, you know what? Chuck is one where I've been kind of open about my lack of respect for him. But he's another interesting character and a good example that I've been learning from. I've been learning about myself more than him because he hasn't really offered me much of anything. However, Chuck and I could be good friends. Cynthia and I could be friends. Margot and I could be friends. Tommy and I could be friends. Charles and I. Chemo and I, my son and I, Donald Trump and I, we could all be friends. As soon as someone gives me a chance, they'll see it.
Yeah, I agree with all of them except Trump.
That's a form of reality. That's a form of reality, is when we accept that we, you know, our goal, our goal isn't to just observe our relationships taking shape, but it's to have that intersubjective sort of validation that something can work out well.
Brother, this is what I've learned firsthand. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't really give a shit. I really don't care who comes into my life and who doesn't. But I know that the only thing that matters to me is relationships. That's been my message and my testimony, and why I'm trying to offer the explanations that I do is because I know if people will bring a greater, healthier version of themselves into a relationship, well, the relationship is better. And that includes whether it's in a family relationship or a community or a business or a church. When anything we have is going to be based on what is composed of it. We compose of this nation. We compose of this world. Let's change the narrative so that the new tomorrow is, praise God, indeed. We have begun. We have begun the path towards the new kingdom, the new world, the new life, the new leg of the adventure. those were my path today, right? Today, here's an observation I found, and I'll turn this over to you guys. I talk a lot. Thank you for being here. But the lesson I observed in myself again today is I don't necessarily know where I'm going, but the world tells me when it's time to leave. And so this morning I checked out of the hotel and I'm like, honestly, I don't know where the frick I'm going. I don't know when I'm going. I don't know where I'm going. I only know where I am. So now what? The new leg of the adventure begins. And tomorrow I'll get up and we'll pack the car and we'll continue the adventure. I did choose a direction today, so I'm heading, unless something changes, I think I'm heading south through Louisville, Kentucky, and then into Virginia, I think. I don't know. Lou Bass, I love you, man. You are so lovable and dumb. I think you're dumb.
Yes.
Right?
He's another version of like Chuck, but a little bit smarter than Chuck, but dumb at the same time.
I think Lou is more lovable in my own personal experience, but I know Chuck's a great guy. He's like a grandpa to many, I'm sure. But Lou, can you give an example of what Chuck has done or said to you or against you, Jack? I can come up with many examples. Pretty much pull up any of our past interactions, conversations. You'll find him ignoring what I say, right? He will not accept my explanations, and then he'll argue about his disagreements. Or anything I say, he's got a disagreement. And he's literally been going panel to panel saying, Jack Talcott is the Antichrist. He thinks I'm exactly opposite of what I claim. I claim to be on a path devoted to God. I'm online regularly talking about the truth of God's love. My love, I'm talking about the truth of my love for God regularly, right? So the fact that Chuck can't see any similarities whatsoever between me and Jesus, it blows my mind, Lou. Lou, can you be more understanding?
Lubas, when you just get on panel, just text it, like this chatting thing is childish.
Yeah,
get on panel.
Tarek,
Be polite.
Yeah. Tarek, and I'm cutting you off as you're doing the polite and right thing. Thank you for that. Lou, tell you what, put it in a pay chat if you want to keep this conversation going, or click the link and explain yourself, because your confusion is not my problem. I can answer questions, but I cannot make you understand.
Exactly.
Do I have him blocked?
Guys, I hope Lou hops up. I'm gonna step down for a minute because my brain gets so tired with this stuff. If we're not doing like immediate philosophy and theology, I'm like fried duckling. You know, I'm totally out of it. But
I got you. And you know what? Do you want to bring it back and you want to discuss the concept of dominant narrative? Because you got a great idea, great mind. And I don't mean to put it to waste. Thank you, Tarek. You're free to stay or whatever you want. I don't know what I'm going to do with Tommy.
I'll stay if Lubas is coming up here. I'm dying to see what Lubas has to say.
All right.
All right. I'll see. Yeah, Jack, I'll see you guys around. Thank you so much for having me up. And Tarek, nice briefly to meet and talk. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. Take it easy.
Much love, Doc. I appreciate you, my friend. And yeah, and Lou, you're not blocked. There he is. Fabulous. We'll see if the connection works.
Yeah, let's hope this connection is working. Oh my God.
I'm just checking my audio. Can you hear me okay?
Beautiful.
You actually sound wonderful, brother.
Oh,
And you even look kind of pretty.
oh, isn't that serendipitous?
How
Maybe
you doing, my friend?
maybe it's blessings from you, Jack. I'm
Stop
good.
lying.
I'm good. I'm eating 2 like humongous pork loins. They're fatty and juicy, and I'm eating butter with them. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's get to the point here, Slibes. What do you
No,
have against
I
Jack?
didn't really have a point. I don't really see much of Chuck or have heard much of Chuck other than occasionally when I pop into Jack's panel or on the very rare occasion that I pop into Slow State's channel. And so that's the only time I really hear anything about Chuck so I'm not sure. I'm just wondering, what does he say or do that offends you?
Lou,
I'm just curious, that's all.
Tell you what, very clearly, he has been calling me a liar. Without facts, without specifics, without any opportunity for me to defend myself. But see, this is what liars do. Liars
He doesn't
lie.
do it to your face?
It doesn't do what to my
Like
face.
he'll call you a liar directly to your face?
I'm pretty sure he has, yeah. But he won't consider my explanations that show he's wrong. This is where I've been watching. I've been paying attention, Lou. A lesson, what the symptoms of the ego. The reason we carry unforgiveness, the reason we carry these patterns and bad habits is because of selective memory, selective listening, selective memory. That's not part of the game. See, because if you selectively choose what you will and will not consider, you start living in a fantasy. And Chuck and others have been living in this fantasy where they think it's appropriate to treat a man like me as a joke. I'm not a joke, Lou. Despite the way our paths first crossed.
Nobody's a joke. I mean, we're all living this world, this life that no one knows what exactly it is, where it's going, what's the purpose of it all.
That's partially true. Some of us know more than others. And I don't claim to know it all. I don't claim to know a lot. Well, I do claim to know a lot. So, Lou, when we first crossed paths, I mean, Tarek, included in these other names and the other stuff, we've got to bring Polyboy into the equation. I saw he was streaming today. I checked into his chat and I considered visiting him, but I don't know. It hasn't gone well.
Yeah,
hey,
he was
Steven.
streaming. Well, Steven, how are you?
Steven, you there, buddy?
Hello.
He's got to get
show
clearance. He's got to get clearance for the internet from the nurses.
No,
you're so funny. You're so stupid.
he may have he may have some connection issues. I don't know. Occasionally things happen.
It could be because he hasn't taken his medication yet. They don't like when he goes online without taking his medication first.
Blue bad stop, man. But Chuck,
actually,
one thing I would say about Chuck too. Let me add one thing about Chuck. You're talking about Chuck. The guy 2 days ago accused me. He said 2 years ago on Paul's panel, I said I was involved in an underground cult, and it was a terrorist in a terrorist thing, and he has 100% proof. I said, bring it, I'll give you $10,000. And he's running with it.
Hello.
Hey,
can you hear me now?
Yes, you're coming through well. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I don't know why I had an audio issue, but
Hi, King.
Lou Bass. I came on because somebody said he looked prettier, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, I got to join. Am I hearing things? Did I lose my mind? What happened? They called Lou Bass pretty?
I said
man. What is going on over here today?
I don't know.
Can you help us, Sire? Can you help us out? Without you, we're kind of lost.
I figured you were kind of lost, Lou. Could you lick my boots for me?
La 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 la. Is that good?
Are we gonna do the same thing, Lou Bass? Come on.
La 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 la. Is that good?
Oh boy.
Did you get all the gunk off the bottom and the treads?
Yes,
I'm sorry. How are you doing, Jack? How are you
Only
doing
the
today?
best for my Lord and Savior, King Steve.
I tried to skip through it, and it said that you fled from flow state or something. You had to get away because he was keeping you up all night or something like that. He wore you out.
Here, hold.
Keeping me up?
Okay.
Please pause and come back to this if you want. Cat Rex.
Okay.
Cat Rex, what are you doing? I mean, make them stop as you're calling people names, and then you claim you don't feel safe. Please click the other, find somewhere else to spend your time. If no, actually, let me not jump to that conclusion, please. Because if you don't feel safe from comments in a chat because of something occurring online and you don't feel safe, you're in the perfect spot, my friend, because you need some help. You need some clarity in your mind about what is and is not important. Cat Rex, based on what I just pulled up your comment to Daisy, you're not one to be judging what is or is not. Well, maybe you can judge, but I'm calling you out on your crap, and that is godly. That is righteous. That's how we find.
Cat Rex, are they new here? I don't think I've seen that name.
It is
me either.
It's probably just something to trigger me.
Maybe they're a troll. Could be a troll.
Yeah, it's gotta be Chuck or Cynthia or the Lola. The losers, the gangsta.
There's a lot of people. This actually ties into what I think. What was that?
Gangstock?
Oh,
that was Lou coughing up a hairball.
Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, gangsta. When I go over this again, Lou Bass, they come in like 6 or 7. That's come on now. I'm not gonna go over this again. We did this last time.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, Cat Rex. They might be Daisy's cat or something. Cat Rex. Cat named Rex. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Okay, Jack.
Praise God. Praise God indeed. Sincerely,
Praise
for
God.
the day is here. This online experience, let's pause and just bring ourselves into the present moment. We've got memories and we got a lot of different characters, but we've all got our own individual experiences. But I believe we can all sit here together and seriously, it's been fun. Praise God, man.
Yes, it has been. I'm glad you're having a good time on the
Jack.
road. And how is it? Are you in St. Louis? You said, Jack?
Just past St. Louis. I'm on the Illinois side now, according to Google.
Did you see that arch, the St. Louis? What is it called? The big arch that they have there. Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
they have an elevator in there. You can go up through and go in there.
No kidding. I didn't even think about stopping for sightseeing, stuff like that. I'd love to go back and, you know what? I've already traveled across the country by car few times. There's a lot of cool spots, cool monuments, all sorts of cool shit you can find in every state, no matter where you go, whether it's man-made or nature-made. There's cool stuff.
That's definitely true. America is probably one of the most beautiful countries in the world, the most diverse landscape. It has it
God
all.
bless America. I think
Amen.
it is a blessed country, and
It has
Lou,
everything.
that brings up a good point, Lou. I don't like most Canadians. I have to admit, Lou. I'm not saying you particularly, but in general, Canadians, I prefer Americans. God bless America and shit on Canada. I just don't like Canadians. Sorry, I got to be honest.
Yes,
Hey,
it's
See,
true. Americans are much less intelligent, so they're easier to deal with for you.
Here,
Who said that?
that was
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Was totally kidding.
here.
Don't beat me, sir.
Let me, please, two things. Welcome, 5 Speed. It looked like there was a little lag when you got connected. That's why I didn't bring you right up. But I heard you show up. How are you? How have you been doing, brother? What's going on?
I'm good, my friend. Good to see you're doing well.
Yes, sir. Hey, are you in Canada or the U.S.? I can't remember. I think you're U.S. side, right? 5 Speed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm down around Louisville, Kentucky right now.
Well, dude, I'm heading that way tomorrow. Wait,
Oh,
Oh God! Please don't go see him, Jack. 5 Speed is
Why
something
not?
else. Please don't
Why
go see
not?
him.
no,
What if
you,
he has
you
a
guys
place
got to
for him
stream
to?
together. That would be awesome. I'd love
Yeah,
to see
why
that.
Yeah,
not?
but
Why
5 Speed is
shouldn't
a
he
lot.
stay
Great
there? He
It's
has a
content.
live.
room that he
Great
could stay
content.
in.
Yeah, nah, I won't be up for the streaming.
You
you
got to
will
meet
or
up.
you would or won't? I didn't catch that.
I,
You have
I
a
Sorry.
wouldn't
room where
be up
Jack
with
can stay for
for
a
the
couple nights.
streaming, but I'd be up for grabbing a
For
cup of
me,
coffee or something.
dude, let's do it. If you're willing, please. We'll touch base and see what the timing looks like. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But
That
that would
works.
be pretty cool. I'm hoping to connect with people, right? I'm traveling, so if someone is somewhere on the path, let's see if we can meet up. I don't mind even diverting a little bit just to make some acquaintances. I met some cool people yesterday. Oh shit. Brian, I think. Brian, Amanda, if you guys are tuned in, God bless.
Brian Shea?
No, I met
Okay.
this amazing couple last night when I went out for dinner. We had some nice conversations, and when I was on my way to Flow State's house.
Oh no, you went to Flow State's house? I missed that.
Yeah, we did a stream together. We did a stream together last night. I started there, and I took off and went back and got some rest. But yeah, so we did, I think, 3 streams together. It was fun. I want to bring us back to that observation that Lou shared, though. How amazing and diverse America really is. How blessed we are by the border designations and the capture of all this. We can travel freely all across the U.S. without, border checks and all this crap. I mean, in Europe, I guess it's not as bad as it used to be either. I haven't been there in a long time, but America, I left Spokane, drove through Utah, Wyoming, Montana. I'm seeing parts of different parts. Everywhere we go, Mother Earth is so fucking gorgeous. She's just beautiful. Gives us everything. Everything.
Yeah. Mother Nature provides. She's not only beautiful but abundant. I mean, she provides so much food and so much beauty and love, and cuddles us and coddles us in her arms, in her bosom. It's remarkable when you think about it. When you think of the monuments, though, that Americans have made, like the St. Louis Arch. It's so much better than the McDonald's M arches. It's like 2 arches. But when I think of that, I think if it was a Canadian, they would have put 2 arches in Vancouver where Bex lives. It would have been a big McDonald's M instead of just an arch. They would have done 2 and painted it yellow. Like, that's the way Canada kind of does things. It's all fast food type. in America, it's meaningful because it's the gateway to the West, right? It's in the Midwest, and they say it's the gateway in St. Louis.
I can't disagree with what you say because I'm sure you're right. But I know there's another side to the Canadian life.
I hate Canada now, Jack. I got to admit, I hate it. I hate Canada. I really do hate it. Well, you don't like Trudeau and all those idiots, do you? But there's a lot of fat people here as well, and there's a lot of fatties in Canada. There's an obesity problem.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be honest. I don't want to pull punches, but
let's look at the bigger picture. They've tried buddying up to America. It's America's influence that's fattened Canada and fattened everybody else, except the poor. You know, it's got taken the food out of the poor people around the world. But shit, we got to throw it away. We got to ship our trash to the poor people.
Oh, you should. Do you think they should? Do you think Trump should put tariffs on McDonald's and Burger King and all those places, or like the fast food? Do you think they should tariff that? What do you think? Would that help people maybe if it was more expensive? Like if McDonald's, let's say a Big Mac was $20.
No, they do that in Washington and other places. The sin tax, they add this extra, expense onto tobacco and liquor and stuff like that. They could do it with sugar and junk food, sure.
They do that in Canada. Yeah, the carton of cigarettes is like $150 or something because it's all packed.
Cow.
Yeah, it's all packed. Yeah,
dude, these state systems are out of control, and yet people think they have the control, which they do because people obey. Brothers and sisters, we got to find a way, man. Let's make it next week. Let's see if we can make it come true by May 1st. It gives us a week. How about Cinco de Mayo? We'll do it by May 5th. Find a way.
Is that Taco Day, Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
That's
it's more of a pagan holiday, isn't it?
I love tacos. It sounds like a Mexican taco day.
That's the Americanized version. What it really is if I remember right, it was a city defended itself from the invasion of a foreign military. I mean, in Mexico.
Holy shit. I just thought it was about eating tacos, celebrating. Oh, man, I didn't know.
I heard it compared to our 4th of July, that it had something to do with an independence, but that's only partially true. And I don't remember the details. I mean, actually, I actually love learning about history now. I hated it in school, but I haven't learned a lot about other lands' history besides the U.S. involvement.
Isn't it about Mexico's separating from Spain and becoming independent or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Lines that I understood, but it's not
Mexico's independence. Yeah, it's Mexico's independence from Spain. Independence.
I'll tell you one thing. Canadian history was so boring in school. There were a lot of kids that fell asleep, and it was like about John Diefenbaker and all this, like John A. MacDonald and all these boring old dead.
Yeah, it's true.
White
Canadian politics and history is pretty bad. The only part that I enjoy is when we burn down the White House.
Well, that was my ancestors. Some of my Irish ancestors were part of that.
Yeah.
So what
crazy hooligans.
They were Métis and Englishmen. It was a force of Métis, which are half Indian, half French, and a battalion of English redcoats.
So what are we going to do? I mean, we're going down in history. We're in the records of life. Are we just... Actually, can we swing this kind of to a group conversation? Because this topic about purpose, I was toying with this quite a bit today. Because purpose, everyone needs to find a greater purpose. Once you find your purpose for life, you never work again. you know, because you're following your purpose, your calling, your passion. And I feel I found mine. I think
Me too, Jack. I feel like I'm following my purpose. I'm not there yet, but I am.
Okay, Tarek, can we hear Jack's, please? Fuck.
I apologize, sire.
Always
Please
about
forgive me.
you.
No,
I haven't talked. I apologize.
Okay, shut up.
Well, Jack is
And let
making
Jack
history.
talk.
Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on. Jack is making history here. History is not just the past. I think that's a misconception people have. It's in the present. In the present moment, Jack is making history as we witness it, and he's documenting it, his trip,
Yes.
and doing these live streams across America. So this is history that we're witnessing. It doesn't necessarily have to be 400 years ago.
I agree.
That's it. And that's what I realized. History is not boring. It's happening right now. And you know, the news, we know the news is reporting the most recent history. That's what they're doing. And we know the news is lying to us.
Of course they are.
The news is lying about the current history. That means that we are losing because only the victors tell the tales. Let's get on the winning side. Perfect segue into the topic. It's time for us, the truth, to bring the controlling narrative. When you watch people, the dominant narrative, the one who controls the narrative, is what the truth becomes. That's what people start going with. So you got to look within first. What is the truth you're telling yourself about yourself? What's your dominant story about you and the world? But more importantly, challenge the narratives around you. Challenge the stories that people are telling. If people are exaggerating and lying, call them out, especially if it's you. If you're exaggerating or lying, call yourself out.
Especially snafu. I thought you almost said, you said especially you, but I heard snafu. He should be called out for the stories he's been telling for quite a while.
Dude.
Oh my God, yes.
He's a part of this. He is part of my history, and it has been well documented. I just don't know where the history, the past is going to lead us.
It's all happening now. That's the important thing, is people got to get in the present moment, because it is, as Jack said, it's happening now. And a lot of people, I'm getting it because I'm understanding what you've been saying. People are wrapped up in the past and kind of digging up the past and going over and over and looping, but it's all happening right now in the present. If we're in the present moment, then we're actually living life because we're in the present. We're not, our minds aren't wrapped up way back years ago, or, you know, water under the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, Margot and them, they should take that advice, I think, King Stephen. Like, they should move on and be in the present
What
now.
about Snafu? He's wrapped up.
Oh, my God. Snafu is on the first list.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Snafu would be on the first list as well, even though he tried in his own way to be shot to Jack's family, but that was not for the cause, though. But, yeah.
It's, well, here, the dominant narrative about Jack so far been, well, a lot of confusion and lies. Sorry, I dropped out. I've been maintaining for many years now that people have been misunderstanding me, and there's a lot of lies. I've been wrongfully accused, right? I believe Snafu and even Paul and Tommy, I believe all of these people are evidence of my words, but this kind of swings us around to what you've been facing too, Tarek. And El Perro, welcome to you, brother. This is a perfect lesson for us as well. The lesson I've been learning about, we don't have to fight for the truth. The truth is all that matters. The truth will prevail. It's our job to stay in line with the truth. And for me, the best way, the simplest way I found to stay honest and to stay in line with the truth is to stay with love. Because if you stay with love, truth is on your side. That's the relationship with Jesus and the Father. You stay with Christ, and God is there to serve you and me. And I trust that that's what's happening. God has served us the day, and me to you and you to me, served us together. Let me shut up and welcome.
Well, I've got a simple little verse that I created for myself, as simple as it can get. He is my guide. He is my protector. I shall not waver.
I have something to offer that ties in with this as well. St. Augustine wrote, "The truth is like a lion. You do not need to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself."
Dude, that's powerful too. And this is what I've come to realize. In our desperation, in our mind, right? We want to prove our worth, whether we're consciously aware of it or there's a conscious in us that wants us to be worthy. We want to see our worth. We want others to see our worth. We want to be shown as worthy. But guess what? The way we're designed, we're not designed to be worthy. We're designed to be perfect. Holy shit. The worthiness that comes through us is the will and the grace and the goodness of God. That's the key. If you want to get something done, you must put forth the actions and effort, right? You must put in some energy to achieve. But by God's grace, it is God that does it all. I've been learning to trust in that. And I know you can take these words and twist it. Look, Jack, that's why you're homeless and this and that and blah, blah, blah. That's partly true. But following these words, I'm telling you, people from the Bible, El Perro, maybe you can remind me. The scripture where Jesus points at the wind and the Holy Spirit, and we know not where the wind comes from. We know not where it goes. We can hear it. We can feel it. We know its presence. That's the Holy Spirit. Well, that's kind of my life, man. People don't know where I've been. People don't know where I'm going. But I think people feel something when I show up.
Exactly. That's what I try to explain when I think about this Christianity and this God that all these people profess. It's to me, it's not a he. Even though I said he is my guy. It's the sense that it's the source of life. So just like the source of wind, it's there, but you can't see it. It's inherently known to be there, but you can't see it. So when I think about this God, it's not a him or a thing like that. It's a source of life. I can't see it. I can't see it, but it's inherent that I know it must be there.
Otherwise, source of love, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I think people call it a he because of the fatherly influence. Like it's just kind of natural for people view it as God the Father because guiding and I don't know. Maybe it's just easier for people.
Well, the protector and provider role is set for the man of the house. That's the natural roles that men play.
Yes, and hey, Golden Renaissance, blessings to you. I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're based on past interactions. I'm assuming your comment is filled with sarcasm. But I tried adding you back as a moderator before, and I couldn't do it in from my phone. But here, since I'm streaming now, I just added it back. Oops. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring this one up. Yeah, I took your admin wrench away because you were acting like an asshat with me, and then you proved my choice correct by continuing to be an asshat towards me publicly. So yeah, I took your admin wrench away. Praise God. I'm grateful to see you with a membership, and don't just deal with it. Be grateful for it. So I trust you back with a mod again, and please don't abuse it. Please join and be part of the community as we can be. Hey, I agree. Good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The peasant wrench. Do better this time is
Yes.
the message. Just try to do better.
That's
Do
a great
better.
message. It really is. It's a great message for all of us. Do better. Shit, we can't undo it. But when we do what we're doing, let's do better. Let's be better. Because better, it's on the path to perfect. And once we get on that path, man, you start finding all sorts of things to do better. And once you find things to do better, you feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. And it just kind of snowballs. And the next thing you know, you might just be fired up to believe that you're here to change the entire world yourself, too. Now, that yourself is, in a concept, because nobody does anything alone. This swings us back to that topic, the dominant narrative. The dominant narrative means the one that's confirmed and it's shared by other human beings. It's not just the one who talks the most or, argues the best. The dominant narrative is the one that people will agree with, that people will share, because we live in this paradox, in this realm where everything and anything, how about this? Anything can be real, but not everything is. How about that? Anything can be real, but not everything is. That's where we are, because that's the truth. Our job is to find what is real, what is true versus what is untrue, what is unreal, what is an illusion, what is a lie, what is a distortion. It is a distortion of facts and an outright lie that gives Donald Trump the supremacy to rule the world like he's been doing. The dominant narrative can change, and it's up to us to take control of the stories. Brothers and sisters, let's start, if we can, if you're with me, whatever day you see this, if it's today, great. Let's start it today, carrying into tomorrow. This starts the new leg of our journey through life. Let's give our life to God. Because if we give our life to God, it'll open the mind up to, all right, my responsibility is not just the job. My responsibility is not just the family. My responsibility is to serve the world that God created. And God created the whole world for us all to share. But the world has taught us to think small. So people don't see themselves even connected to the neighbor that they live next to. They feel, even if there is a connection, sometimes it's a guarded connection, the connection's broken and dangerous. Brothers and sisters, we got to find a way. It's time for us. I encourage anyone, if you've got arguments and unresolved in your family, in your neighbors, in your in your world, your community, it's time for peace. Be the bigger person. Be the first one who walks up and even though it's uncomfortable, says, hey, you know what? Let's move past what happened. Let's create a better relationship than we had in the past. Let's move forward in time together. I think that's what God's plan is for us, guys. I really do. We were born into a broken world, a world that was fractured and broken by sin, selfishness, and trauma. And a lot of sin, selfishness, and trauma is still being enabled and allowed and promoted in our world today. But it doesn't have to continue. I believe all of us, as Jesus was, we are. We are the light that our Father, the creative source, the source of all things and the power of time, has brought us forth into this world to be here at this time. And God sends the light into the darkness, because in the darkness, that's where the games are played, right? So we're here in the darkness within each of us. It's usually our ignorance and our pride gets in the way. These are experiences and things I learned for myself, and I can't encourage you enough. There's always a better you, okay? Whoever you are. This is including me. These are words that I accept and I embody for myself. There's always a better me. It's up to me to show it. It's up to me to find it. It's up to me to create the better version of me. Why? Because you deserve it. The world is who we are. And this, I suggest love your neighbor more, there should be no comparison. I don't think, my point, sorry guys, people don't love themselves enough. So since people hate themselves, they really don't give a shit about their neighbors.
Yes. Jack, would you agree that, I'm sorry to interrupt, that,
Please.
do you think Margot loves her neighbor?
She's one of those who selectively chooses. She's got that selective memory, and she selectively listens. She picks and chooses who she listens to. But what she doesn't realize is it doesn't matter the source. This is what I've come to realize. It makes no difference where the source of information comes from. If it's true, it's true. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you like the person or not, or how you got the news. It doesn't matter. If it's true, it's true.
That's true.
Margot doesn't
and Jack, just to give, to come from that, like, even though me and Cynthia have been going at it sometimes ferociously, I told her yesterday, when you're right, I'm going to say you're right. And yesterday she was right on a couple things. But the only thing that shocks me with Cynthia, Margot, and them is when I'm right, they never say I'm right. They're always constantly hating and just saying negative stuff.
Tarek, do you love Cynthia?
Could I ask you a
No,
question?
she's not my type, dude. Come on.
Well, no, I didn't mean that way. I didn't mean in the way of dating, but the love
Oh,
that
yeah, I
love
love her
thy
as a
neighbor
person. Yeah,
in that way.
I have no hate towards her. No,
In that
no,
way.
yeah, I still,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I still have love for her as a person, a human being, of course. Everybody.
I don't love her. I've got to say, I've got to be honest, I don't. But when Jack was saying about loving your neighbor more and all that stuff, and starts with loving yourself and not hating yourself, we've become so isolated and atomized in this society with our neighbors and fences and the way that they build subdivisions and all this shit these days. Like, I even look back to the Indians when they lived in teepees, or the Amish, their communities. They seem to know their neighbors the way that we don't anymore. So I wonder, would things be better living in teepees like the Indians did, or just in terms of loving thy neighbor and getting to know one another and not hating their neighbor, or just building these big walls so that we don't see our neighbors? Because the way that things are today, it doesn't seem like there's much loving thy neighbor go on. We've in some ways we haven't made progress, but in other ways, like when I was growing up, and no offense intended, but with natives in the movies and stuff, it was and like they portrayed Indians that way in the westerns, the cowboys and Indians, and nobody does that anymore. So we made progress in that respect with the way that natives are portrayed. But in terms of the way living in teepees and you were just one teepee over from your neighbor, maybe if we did more of that, like got to know our neighbors and loved our neighbor, because modern society, we don't really know our neighbors too much, it seems like.
It's by
if
design.
That makes sense.
It does make sense, Stephen. And I don't see as, I mean, I'm definitely pro nature, and natural is the best in my mind, but I'm not one of those who's focused. I get a lot of advice, break away from the society, go get some land, do everything yourself, be a homesteader, and that's an option. I actually see the best way we could there's ways we can use technology and science to enhance and support nature. We can bring so much better quality and natural products to the people. It's just, are we collectively, are we willing to change the narrative? If we're not willing to change the narrative, then we're going to continue this class warfare where the losing side is clear. There is no winner in the economic warfare. There's those who live with luxury and fear of losing and fear of poverty. And
like Trump.
Right.
Yeah, like Trump. I think he's living in fear of losing his wealth and living in poverty. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I haven't lived a perfect life. If I'm critical of Trump, it doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm perfect. There was a time when I went out drinking and I drank too much with friends, and we had to stop somewhere, pull over somewhere because I had to pee really bad. I ended up pissing all over a cop car. I was so drunk I didn't even know it was a cop car, and I just pissed all over it. But what I'm getting at is I'm not a perfect being. I've done things in my past, but Trump is a grown man, and he's 70 something or 80 years old? He's pretty old. Mm-hmm. And I think he's just worried about losing his money. He's just, I don't know. He's Emperor Trump in a way. He's gone off the deep end. He's gone off the rails. Hello, Margot. Good to see you.
Hello, King Stephen. Hello, Jack.
Greetings. Welcome. Glad to see you.
Glad to see you as well.
Oh, God help me. Where is Jesus now, please?
No, please. It's a new moment, a new time. Let's not presume anything.
I agree, Jack. I agree. Let's give it a shot. Benefit of the doubt. Go ahead. Good faith.
All right, you never cease to amaze me, buddy.
I know. I'm in good faith. Margo, I take it back. I apologize. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
He was bad-mouthing you, Margo, with food in his mouth earlier, but just full disclosure.
I'm hurt.
Of course I was. 100% the truth. But go ahead. The floor is yours. I'm sorry.
I'm so hurt. I don't know if I can talk now. I'm joking. Jack, nice to see that you're well. Do you have an expected date to hit Washington, D.C.? Are you afraid that President Trump won't be there since he'll be at the Vatican?
I'm not afraid of anything, Margo. To answer your question, I'm taking my time. I'm planning by probably Monday. I'm planning by next week. I thought about pushing through to get there by Friday, but then why? I mean, I can still continue sending messages, making calls while I'm taking my time heading to DC, but I'm hoping sometime next week I can start meeting with someone. If it's not Congress, I'll start with someone. I mean, it's not impossible.
Okay.
Of course it's not impossible, Jack.
No,
but
nothing's impossible.
No, I agree with you. It's fascinating that Margo earlier on Tommy was saying, "Oh, I don't think Jack is going to get anywhere with that car and all that." Her and Tommy. Now she's saying, she's worried about you, me, and Trump.
Tarek,
And
I've said that for the beginning. However, if Jack gets the opportunity to visit with President Trump, I will be pleasantly surprised and very proud of him and happy for him.
Great. I'm just seeking
Yeah.
Marco's approval.
I don't want to seek my approval.
Hey, Margot, I appreciate it. And Tarek, thank you. But again, have fun. These people are absolute fools. Okay. So Margot's on record for the things she said, the things she's done. And I've got a clear conscience, and I know full well.
You're cutting out, Jack.
What is going on?
All right. Well, so, I'm gonna bid you safe travels. I'm gonna have dinner and watch the movie.
What to do? This is a better.
We're gonna watch The Conclave tonight.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna watch The Conclave tonight. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
Most of us don't watch movies.
Yeah, we don't. Actually, I agree with Wizard there.
All right.
Well, I just
everyone have a good night.
Before you go, see you later, Margot. I hope you have a good night.
Did you have a question for me, Stephen?
Well, I just based on your question, I was going to ask Jack if he thinks he would have a better time hanging out with Trump if they got to meet than he did with Flow State. Do you think you'd have more fun with Trump? Do you think Trump could be a fun guy to hang out with? Or how do you perceive Trump away from TV cameras, let's say, hanging out?
Oh, I'm sure we could have some great conversations. He's lived an amazing life. He's got some incredible stories to share, I'm sure. But I'm sure it would be similar. Trump's the type. He's selfish and controlling. Just, it's like many people I've met. But
like Flow State.
Right.
like Flow. No. There's a similarity there. There is.
No,
all right, I'm gonna say good night. Good night, Jack. I don't mean to interrupt, but good night. Good night.
Good night, Margot.
Talk to you soon.
Good to see you.
Blessings. Thank you.
There is a similarity, though, except for the billions of dollars or whatever Trump's net worth is. There is a personality type similarity, I think, between Trump and Flow State. Yep. I notice a similar. Do you notice that as well, Tarek, or what do you see?
Yeah, I see it similar a little bit. Yeah, of course.
Dude. Hey, Austin, there you go, man. Good news can change your day. That's amazing. That's exciting. Congratulations. Austin has, from what I've seen, he's a family man. Family's important to him. So news of the growth, that's pretty cool. And the thing with Margot, I couldn't remember what she was saying. And Tarek, I'm not even sure what you experienced or saw, what you were referring to. But the other night, it seemed
on Tommy, she was saying that her and Tommy think that your car is going to break down anytime soon. And
to
now
be fair,
she comes on here. Yeah, it's just weird to me. She's all fake. I'm sorry, she's fake, Jack.
But to be fair, she did say she would celebrate and be happy for Jack. She would love it if his dream came true of meeting with Trump and all that stuff. She would celebrate. So
yeah, but she's lying. She would celebrate by Jack leaving and taping them to show her neighbors that Jack left. That's her celebration. Come on, let's be honest. That's what she said.
Oh yeah, dude. She's already been. I heard her and Cynthia talking some shit about me the other day, and it's like, wow. Just they have no care. They don't give a shit what is true. They just make up stories and tell each other stories and build on each other's stories. And in their defense, though, Tarek, regarding the car, I don't know what was exactly said, but my car I've been wondering, am I going to make it, or am I going to be on the side of the road trying to figure out how to replace it? I don't know. It's
I think you'll make it, Jack.
I trust.
I think that's the sad part, Jack. People run off of the lies, and there's no growth in truth. They just continue to run and cover the lies. And I think they're acting in good faith, but their actions would show otherwise.
5-Speed, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because it's in relation to something I think Tarek was pointing out before. It's the challenging part is many of these people think they're doing the right thing. Margot and Charles, in my own personal life, right? These characters from the past, including our friend Paul.
I didn't know Cynthia was bashing Jack. That was the other day. She's
God, yeah, she's been bashing Jack forever.
Yeah.
And Jack, by the way, that comment from
Tarek,
5-Speed was towards me.
Category.
Yeah, that was towards me. Just to let you know, he's taking a shot. He won't let it go because he's a bitch.
Oh, I missed
what? You're calling who a bitch?
And the reality is that
in Wizard.
Oh,
I never said anything about you, Tarek. Don't bring me into it. So the reality is that it comes to your etiquette when you're communicating with each other. And the first law of etiquette is a gentleman announces himself. And when you're announcing yourself unto a nation, you go through the proper diplomatic channels. And in this case, it would be the Congress. Just a simple communication with Congress. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm, my intent, and this is my resources and methods, and this is what I'd like to accomplish as an effect. Go forth. That's all it is. Listen to Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill.
Oh, I remember that cartoon. That was a good one. I'm just a bill. I remember that. Is Tarek here to declare war on people today? What's going on? He's on a war path today. This is incredible.
Well, anyway, I'm out. I just wanted to come up and, have a little fun. I thought it was decent to see Jack again. Great smile again. Good lighting in that room brings it out. Be blessed, and we'll see you later.
Much love, brother. Thank you very much. And Stephen, in Tarek's defense, he did mention before he showed up, he'd already spent quite a bit of time already engaged in trying to resolve the confusion. So break the habit, Tarek. Let it go.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you're right. It's kind of draining to talk to these people. Like, I'll give you an example, right, real quick. 5-Speed, right? I told him the other day, even though I know he lied about that situation, I said, how about this 5-Speed? I'm going to say in front of everybody on record, I lied, not you. I lied about that. Let's just move on. He still can't move on. Every time he goes on panel, he's like you said, he told you the lies and all that was towards me. He does it every time. Can't let it go. And I didn't even lie. He's the liar. But let's just move forward.
Is that true, 5-Speed?
All right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I didn't.
I have no idea what he even said.
I didn't catch what was aimed at Tarek. I missed it.
Can we help? Can we help and try and understand this? Tarek, which part did you feel was referring to you?
I think he was referring to what I was saying about what you were saying in regards to whoever was talking about you, and I said that was the sad part about it.
Yes. And he also, Jack, in the chat,
it was geared towards him when actually it would be geared to any human being that wants to act in good faith.
Yeah, in good faith. We got it. So in that chat,
so did it ruffle those feathers or what?
People have a narrative. In the chat,
so did it ruffle the feathers,
he said it 3
what?
times. Hold on. He said it 3 times in the chat in your panel. The Tarek lies, Tarek this. I told him the other day, let it go, so I don't have to go again after you and keep showing how you lie. And I thought we were going to move on. He keeps coming back, won't let it go.
I haven't had any conversation with you, Tarek.
Can we resolve it today, maybe? Can you two kind of resolve things, or that would be good.
I moved on.
I don't know that there's anything to resolve, Stephen. The man lied on me.
When?
And that's about it.
When 5-Speed?
Well, and he'll tell you about it.
No, I'm asking
told
you.
Me I was on Discord and I sent him a private message on Discord. It started out on Discord. come up with this whole elaborate
I'm
story
just asking
that
when.
wasn't true.
I'm just asking when.
Yeah, when was it?
I don't know how long ago, Tarek. A month or two ago.
Okay. So did you bring it up today, sharing in the chat that Tarek's a liar in reference to something that happened a month ago? Is that what Tarek said?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
He
I
said I
don't
lied in
think
the chat.
directly that way. No,
You said I'm a liar,
I'm not
though.
quite sure
You
what
said
I
I'm a
said in
liar.
there, but
Why can't you let it go
I'm
when you're the liar?
certain
I'm letting
it was in good faith.
Okay. Well, how about this?
It was
True.
in good faith. Okay.
Tarek, please.
Of people's actions.
I'm
with
sorry. I
respect-
yield, Jack. I yield.
With respect, please, let's use this, I hope, as a learning opportunity, okay? Because Tarek, what I'm witnessing is you're coming in with the accusation and questioning the claim, okay? I don't see it. So can we start with, are you sure? Can we confirm? 5-Speed, are you putting in the chat today that Tarek is a liar? Is that?
Not to that degree, but now if you ask me, do I think Tarek's a liar? Yes.
Did you use Tarek's name in the chat today in correlating his name with that of a liar?
Yeah. Don't deflect.
Well, you can go back and look. Who gets to decide whether the context was that or not?
What did you? Well, I'm looking and I'm trying to find it, but I don't.
Can you
That's what
just
I'm
own up
saying.
to it, 5-Speed, if you called him a liar, and we'll just move on?
I mean, here's
Well, I
the
said if you ask me, do I think? I'd say yes. Only
okay.
based on
Okay.
listen, hear me out, Jack.
Yeah.
Based on his actions of the fabricated story that he manipulated in his mind to try to discredit my character.
And
I mean, how do you walk away from
that's
that
a
if
narrative.
you're not tarnished?
That's 5-Speed. You just gave a narrative. Do you have any specifics of what specifically was fabricated that diminished your character from Tarek? What was a specific lie?
Well, he was trying to make me out to be a liar and said that I had sent him a private message in regards to Paul unslaved or something, which was all fabricated, never was on Discord. Then
Okay.
it went to a phone. Then the fabrications continued, Jack, when he got hustled up into that. And then it went, well, maybe it was a phone call. So
Really?
if you ask me,
that
yes.
actually doesn't make a lot of sense. Are you sure in your accusation, 5-Speed? You want to gamble your reputation publicly on
He
your
made 'em.
accusation?
He-
Because when you make
he
those
made the
accusations,
accusation,
brother,
not I.
you're the okay. Am I
He
confused?
made those
You're not calling him a
accusations, not
liar,
me.
5-Speed? You're not calling him a liar? What are you doing?
This is what he does, Jack. Go ahead.
You got-
Try to get to him.
I'll see you guys later.
All
See,
right.
he ran.
Hey, don't run
He
See you
ran.
away.
later, Jack.
We want to resolve
He
this
ran.
today.
This is his
don't-
pattern. When he gets
This
called,
is
he
his pattern.
what the
5-Speed.
leaves things
situation
unresolved,
was.
and that
If
way he
you
would continue his behavior next
don't have the
time.
time to,
He'll have the same excuse.
We have the time. We're trying to resolve things here today. 5-Speed.
no, I have the same behavior every time I'm up here.
Yeah, you're a liar.
and it's been not.
I'm not getting
productive,
all worked
5-Speed.
up. My blood pressure's not raising.
5-Speed. Right, you're not paying attention.
My blood
You're-
pressure isn't raising
Whose is? Whose is?
because I'm standing on truth.
Who's? Why are you
Well, who's
bringing
upset
that
if
up?
I
Are you
was who
making
would be upset if I was?
Holy shit!
Hang
Hey,
on, Jack.
5-Speed.
Who would be upset if I was calling Jack a liar? Tarek a liar if he was a liar. You're questioning me now. I wasn't
Okay, so can I
questioning
say something
anybody. I
quick,
told
Jack?
you what the situation was
Tell you
between
what,
Tarek and I.
5-Speed. Hey, tell you what.
So
I'm not really a big fan of yours anyway, 5-Speed, because you really haven't shown that you give any
That's
sort of shit about me. You're very focused on you, And here today, I'm trying to help you and Tarek.
How?
But hey,
I didn't
you
bring
wanna
this
be
up.
right.
I didn't bring this up.
I
Tarek did.
No, you're
I
right.
didn't bring
He
it up.
brought it up for a reason, dumbass, and you're so
Yeah.
selfish. You don't give a shit. So I'm gonna be done with you.
What? So you can triangulate and gang.
No, I'm tired of your nonsense. 5-speed. I love you, brother, but you have consistently done what you say. You've joined my panel to teach, right? You've got wisdom, but you want to run the today. That's not what it was. Praise God.
Praise God. He was a distraction. But Jack, I have
Praise God.
something that I think will
Respect.
help. I think it'll put a smile on your face. I shared it backstage. It's an image of a shirt I'd like to give to 5-speed, the Get Along shirt. The Get Along shirt. I think that would fit. I think that would fit him. Then he couldn't run away. He'd have to resolve it, and there's no running away. Then there's no running away. There's no going away.
But Jack, real quick, just let me give you some real quick insight. Let me tell you why I told him he's lying. I never came after 5-speed ever, and I know he's full of shit. 5-speed and I and Ezra MX were on a private live stream about almost 2 years ago. Now, he told me well, on that private live stream, he asked for Ezra's number and mine. He's the one that asked. So I told him in the chat that day when he brought something up and said, "Weren't you on a private stream with me?" He denied it. And I said the word Discord wrong. But here's what the other lie is. He also told me on a private call, because he called me privately, and told me that he's going to open his own channel, that he is better than Paul in many things in the law. Don't listen to Paul. I know more than things on Paul. So I was just trying to question his integrity. Why would you say you're so honest that you still told me in a private call that you're better than Paul, for example, talking behind his back, and you're going to open your own channel? He wouldn't admit to it. That's exactly what started the whole thing.
Well, here's where I have egg on my face. I thought I might be of some support. I wanted to help resolve accusations of lies. But Tarek, maybe you're putting your nose where it doesn't fucking belong.
Maybe I am, Jack, but that's why I said the other day, right? After I went back and forth with him, I said, forget it. I'm not even giving my energy to him. I said, how about this 5-speed? Okay, I'm lying. I'm an idiot. I'll concede to that. Can we move on? And he can't move on. Every time he sees me, he's going to put some shit in the chat. Then when I say something on panel, he says, oh, I brought it up. No, he said it 3 times in the chat that I lie. So he's lying about that. He said it in the chat, not me.
Hey, Tarek, you sound like a high school girl gossiping all this stuff. You really do. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but seriously.
No, you're not being disrespectful. That's from your perspective. I get that. I'm just telling you what's happening with these guys. I don't like to go through this every day with these people. I really don't. It's stressful.
It can be. And that's why as a friend and a co-person in this experience, I want to encourage you, don't let it stress you. Okay? Don't let this bullshit, the gossip and the accusations and the nonsense, don't let it confuse you, because it will. The insane want people to be insane. The angry people want people to be angry. I'm a man of love, man. I want people to love.
Yeah, that's right, Jack.
Hey,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
can't.
don't let it get you, Tarek. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jack.
No, thank you, Stephen. It's
Yeah, no, sometimes it does get to me. I get that. You know why? It's just when I see like everybody attacking Jack, sometimes I'm like, these people are not gonna stop. Then they come after me sometimes. It's like nonstop, dude. They start picking after somebody else every single day. Then I gotta let it go. So I'm letting it go.
Tarek, let's not just let it go. Let's be the greater example. That's what my hope has been. I've kind of failed. But my hope has been to create a panel and a live stream that's a little better example. I really hope we get good conversations, and occasionally we do. We do have some good ones, and they're getting better. So for those of you who are new to this, new subscribers, stick around, man. And for those who have been around, thanks for doing so. It's going to get better. But here's where I'm going. I don't know what the future's bringing, but we're a part of something pretty amazing. I'm convinced that what happened in my life happened for reasons. I'm not open about my reasons. I'm walking the walk. I'm doing what I'm saying. I'm all in this lifetime, world peace or nothing, right? That's where I'm at. I got nothing left to lose. Well, except my cat. And praise God, I thought I lost her today. But I didn't. And so that's what tells me I'm still on the right path because I'm where I am. And brothers and sisters, if you can allow yourself this faith in this idea that you are exactly where and how you are supposed to be because of the great surprises and the great twists that are still to come.
Yes. And it's exciting.
It is.
It's exciting. We should celebrate that and have a positive attitude with that and not get dragged down by the gossip and the stupid petty bullshit and all that kind of stuff. It's happening now, as Jack said. It's a growing movement. There's a growing awareness and growing awakening that's happening now. There are people coming on board that are new, that are joining in. It's a growing movement, and I mean, it's growing bigger and bigger as things go on, and it's growing like Cynthia's waistline. I mean, it's growing and growing and growing and getting bigger. But I had to throw that in there. She's been mean. I just mean it as a joke. I don't mean
I know you do. I know
serious by it, but
and
yeah.
you're not,
but anyway, yeah.
I got you. I missed your point because of the Cynthia thing, but
well, it's
golly,
a growing movement. It's growing.
Positions.
This is a growing awakening, right?
This is
a growing awakening.
Stephen, we're just a part of it. There's so many other parts in this movement, in this world. We are the awakening. We are the shift. I don't know how many of us there are. I actually think there's a lot more than 144,000 of us, but
there could be.
There
could be. The 144,000 could be the elite of the, not that they're superior, but the ones that are the most dedicated, the most devoted to changing this shit. Yeah, the first on board, the first wave, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I think, and that's what I think it takes. It takes a small group to start the movement. It takes to get the small group. It doesn't just take the first one. The first one is have you ever seen that video on the concert and the dancing? They do like a African safari over talk about how the humans form together and they start a dance. It's not just the first guy who goes out there and acts a fool. That's not the first leader. The real leader is the first one to join.
Yeah.
Because when you got two, when you're not alone, it starts to gain more attention. And as these ideas gain more attention, Stephen, this live without fear, that can become the dominant narrative for humanity. No more fear. There's no place to be afraid. There's no reason to be afraid because we're all in this together. And if the world united together with God, with love, whoo, baby. I'm telling you, miracles.
Oh, there would be miracles every day to witness. You made me think of something when you said about that video. I saw a video years ago where somebody was staring at a building and they just stood there. Someone else was filming them. And then a crowd formed, and eventually there were people doing the same thing. And it's like an icebreaker. What are you looking at? And then there were like 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, a whole crowd. And that's kind of how things work. Things kind of snowball that way. So like a snowball rolling down a hill, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Things grow that way. And if people get curious, like, hey, what are you doing? Or what's your mission? Or why are you going there for that? Then the word passes on, and people get interested. So I think that's probably what's happening.
There's some of that. This life, man. Oh, I'm going to share it because it was part of my day. Just a story from today, man. I was actually on the phone with one of our friends, Scott 2B. He gave me a call as I was traveling, but he called me right when I was going through St. Louis. So there's all this traffic, and I'm trying to follow the Google Maps and trying to figure out where I'm going. And I ended up yelling at the poor guy. But while he was on the phone with me, right next to me, I saw 2 cars coming up. One was flying, and the other one kind of cut him off. And the one who was flying was aggressive. They like trying. I was being edged off the road while they were trying to squeeze between lanes. And the awesome thing is the car that cut him off was a cop. So as soon as they pulled past the cop trying to get past me, the cop pulled him over today. So
Oh, damn.
praise God. You know, there's a place for the law enforcement, and I was grateful they were there today. You know?
Good thing Paul wasn't there. He would have been trying to get arrested. He would have tried to use the cops somehow to arrest him. He wants to get arrested so bad. Oh, man. What a crazy world.
He wears it as a badge of honor, which I can agree with. I can understand to some degree, but what he doesn't understand is you don't have to go to jail to be honorable. And actually, most honorable people find ways to keep themselves out of jail, right?
Yeah.
It's
I've never been to jail like all these other YouTubers, so I just thought maybe he likes the jail food or something, or maybe there's something about jail that maybe there's a special dish they make or something for lunch, or a Jello dessert. I don't know what he likes about it, but I wouldn't want to go there. I don't have any. I've heard that it stinks in jail and everything else. I don't want to go there and deal with not being able to sleep and I don't know, all that stuff. Ugh. Jail just seems yuck to me.
Well, extremely. And brother, we've got some serious crimes, serious problems happening in these jails, in these prison centers, in these prison systems, in the detention centers. We've got ICE and these agents, armed agents, kidnapping people from the streets, locking them up, shipping them out. This shit is going, it's time. Everything has an excuse, but I took us off because of the comment on jails. Prison reform is another part of my passion. And no, I've not been to prison. I don't think I've even been to jail. I don't plan on it, but I'm not looking for it either. So I think it's time to reform these systems. And Stephen, if more people can get on board with this idea, play around with it. Anyone who's listening, and especially if you listen in the near time, please consider this, maybe even share these ideas with others. My goal is to try and have some conversations and meetings set up by Monday. I'll be in Washington, D.C. by then, unless something unusual or unpredictable happens. And I'm doing what I can. So if anyone can think of anyone who might want to support these ideas, let's see what we can do. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, as far as I consider it, there's human lives at stake. Let's see if we can save some lives of people who don't know us, people who we don't know. And I think we can. I know we can if we join together. And that's what I want to remind these men and women in Congress about. If they join together, they could save a lot of lives immediately and in the long term. All they've got to do is find the right ideas, which I believe God has allowed me to receive. And I'm not the only one with these ideas. I'm just the only one on this version right now. But if we can get the right ideas to the right people with the persuasion and motivation, we can come to an agreement. Imagine the world going out, the world news being shared, the different languages, the different methods all around the world. Ceasefires are happening. Yes. Militaries are told to stand down. The wars have ended. The debts have been forgiven. There are new ways coming forth. It's not a free-for-all. We're going to have to make some adjustments, that's for sure. But I believe the adjustments that can be found in America alone, we start working together, man. Earlier in the stream, some of the conversation was about how glorious America is, this land. All the diversity. We've got so much space and opportunity for agriculture. We start combining efforts, technology, and labor and support. We could really produce, holy crap, all sorts of amazing things because Mother Earth is abundant.
Yes, and diversity is our strength. America has a lot of diversity across the land from west to east or east to west, whatever way you want to look at it, north to south, south to north, everywhere. And let me ask you this, Jack, if Trump or Congress asked you, what would you think of in terms of prisons? Would you think that maybe America could begin shutting down a lot of prisons to save a lot of money and to save people's lives and families? And because there's a lot of people serving time in these prisons that are not even violent. They're just in there for years, and it's ruining families. It's dividing people. There's a lot of these migrants that are not U.S. citizens locked up. There's a lot of this going on, and it's costing like billions and billions of dollars that could be put to better use. Like, should we just close down a lot of these prisons and gradually decommission them or whatever?
I believe in the future that is what will happen. Because the prisons could be closed if we actually provided through communities, through the state, through the coordinated effort, if we truly provided education and support. You know, a lot of the problems of the prison system is the economic system. People serve their time, they try and reform, and then they're back out in the world, not only on their own, but now they got another fucking check mark against them. And so that's a big part of the recidivism, the returning, right? Where people return.
The recidivism rate. Exactly. Exactly. And then you make money because it's private prisons. Yep. It's for profit. So they have an interest in getting more prisoners coming in, locking them up, making profit. It's a business. It's an industry, and it's not right. We should try to abolish this, like abolishing slavery, right? It's kind of a form of slavery.
It's this, in a way, it is, because it's a division. It's placing one as a supreme and one as a nothing, right? One judgment, one opinion sometimes puts this person away, and they're taken from their family. No opportunity to explore or to reform or to do, you know, if we educate people properly, crime will go down. It'll disappear because, well, especially if we change the value systems in the world. If the dominant narrative is no longer about fear, scarcity, and lack, if that's no longer the dominant narrative, it's all about love, offering, sharing, nurturing, creating. Man, that's what love is about. The world has lost its way. But praise God, we are here where we are for a reason.
Yes. Yes. And education and opportunity and love would change this from people being so violent or desperate in a way to commit these crimes, to steal food or to do these things that they probably wouldn't if they if they weren't in the situation of poverty and lacking. If they weren't in a ghetto somewhere in poverty, they probably wouldn't be committing these types of crimes and drug dealers or whatever to make a living, and they end up in prison. It would change the system. So I think that I respect what you're getting at is changing the system, focusing on the bigger changes in society, making a real difference instead of just focusing on some of these petty little complaints that some people get hung up on sometimes.
I spent a lot of time in the complaints. I used to believe there was nothing we could do besides vote, right? And I thought we had to vote. That was the only thing we could do. But then I started looking at things a little differently, and I don't accept that. When people try to limit my options, they're taking my power. I don't like people taking my power. I like to, well, I'm learning. I'm learning to reclaim my own power. And that's what I want to, I believe God is going to allow the whole world to do this. We're going to we're going to reclaim the world from the darkness. Hey, Stephen, I should start wrapping it up. It's already after 9 p.m. here, and I am tired.
Okay, Jack, I don't want to keep you up all night, but take our power back. Power to the people. That's a great message. Power to the people instead of these big billionaires and corporations and bureaucrats and everything else. It's power to the people.
It's ours. So, if we're willing to be responsible for it, we can take it. And I think it's up to us. We need to
take the power back. Exactly. That's the message. That's the good message. So thanks for having me on, Jack. And I want to say to everybody here, thanks for tuning in, and God bless America, and we can take our power back.
Praise be. Stephen, thank you very much for joining today. I've had some fun, sincerely, and I appreciate what you bring. You get a lot of criticism. I get a lot of criticism because of Stephen's participation, but there's no denying he's been polite. He's been supportive, for the most part, even though I keep calling him out on the stuff he's done elsewhere and things he did in the past. But brothers and sisters, thank you to all of you who have been a part of this journey, especially the online experience of me. It's been a trip, man. There's no denying it. We've had some fun. There's been some crazy conversations. I was going to kind of hang out for just a few, try and chill and slow this down. If you guys want to, I'm entertained for those who may not want to join the panel. I know I don't always pay a lot of attention to the chat. So if you're open to that, you're welcome too. Powdered Dusty to watch Machine Lies wreck Toilet Bowl Earth. That could be an interesting one. Maybe I'll try to set it up to redirect over that way. Has Jack lost his mind? Much of it. But I've also reclaimed much of it. So it's not so much I lost my mind as I gave my mind away. What do you mean? That's stupid. I gave my mind to God. turned out for the first 40 years of my life, I thought I knew my mind. I used my mind. I kept God out of my mind. I had no time for God. Dude, now God's got my mind. God is my mind. My mind is God. God, there's no separation. That's where I find God. That's where I discover God. That's where I communicate with God. It's through my mind. Because my mind is the gateway into my heart. My heart has been so opened. So have I lost my mind? A little bit. Love will do that to you. It really will. Love will make you lose your mind a bit. You like Chinese. Yeah, you get a little bit, then you need a little bit more, and then you're hungry again, and it all comes together. Uh-oh. Well, I was going to shut down the panel, but a guest has shown up, and let me be respectful. Welcome back. Good to see you, Truther Cop. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
I'm
Doing all right.
blessed.
Huh? Yeah, dude. You fucking ought to recognize it, dude. I'm fucking tired of watching you bitch up here. Oh, my life is a wreck. The people around. This is what pisses me off. Life is good, dude. You have to know it. You have to represent it. You have to live it. It's gonna suck sometimes. Like you got fucking She-Hawk down here hating on the white people in the chat. I mean, I'm not blocking their comments.
Who is?
She-Hawk.
You've got another tab open or something.
Still? There's nothing going on, man. There's nothing over here.
It's when I'm speaking. Are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm fucking here, Jack. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I'm here, dude.
You're not allowed?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go anywhere.
Whose rules?
God's, apparently.
Fascinating. I'm still getting an echo. I don't understand why.
I turn the echo cancellation off. Oh, like, do you still hear it?
Only when I talk. Hey, actually, it's gone.
Yeah, I turned the echo cancellation off.
How interesting. Thank you. I saw it was on and I didn't uncheck it. Maybe that's what, okay. I guess I'll play around a little more next time. Thank you.
Yeah, that's weird. Here in St. Louis?
Yes, sir. St. Louis today. I was trying to make it to Louis. My original plan was to hit Louisville, Kentucky, and that wasn't me. His device stopped connecting. So, are you back?
Yeah, I was trying to turn my camera on to show the stars, but apparently it booted me for some reason. So you're thinking about going to Kentucky, or you're going to head north?
Well, that was the question yesterday, but then I looked at Indianapolis. They still have cannabis as illegal. And so I was looking, is there a reason to go through Indianapolis or Kentucky? Well, it's not illegal in Kentucky, I don't think. I think it's medicinal, but it just, it's little things like that. I don't really care what direction I go. And actually, it
exactly. That's what I'm saying about like where I'm at with like God. It's like I'm not here to fight it. The river's pushing me in a certain direction. I can sit here and fucking fight it, but it's like, why?
I'm not fighting much.
I'm not saying you are. That's for you to determine. I'm just talking about like, when I say these things like where I'm not allowed to leave or whatever, it's like, that's what I'm referring to.
I don't get it.
Like that, I'm not going to fight the current of where my life is clearly putting me, you know, or complain about it. Like the lot that I'm given, right? I'm going to be grateful for whatever it is in the small details, because I could have none of it and I couldn't be here. That's potential. So, I'm here, so, you know, might as well make the best of it.
And that's what you're doing, though. Is that what you think? You're making the best of it?
Yeah, as far as I can right now with the tools I've been giving you and the stream that I'm in. You know, maybe one day I'm going to join some Grand River, and maybe I'll join the Nile River. My stream will like tap into the Nile River, and I'm like, wow, this is like so much better than what I was doing before. But I was still a fucking awesome stream back then. You know, I was still kicking ass back then. What are you up to, man? So you're thinking about going to Kentucky because weed is legal. So the one thing I think about Louisville is they have the biggest lawn care expo in the nation. It's $25, but it's in September. That's the one reason to go to Louisville for me. There's a few. Indianapolis had the biggest meeting with the People's Convoy, the party they had there. The people represented. It was the coolest place to be. But there were different times of year. So I would say Indianapolis is better this time of year. Louisville is better later.
That could be true. I still think I'm heading through Louisville, and I was looking. There's another town. Excuse me. Maybe Lexington. Might be Lexington that I'm going to try and hit by tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Well, that's like that range right there. So you're going to cross like that mountain range into the East Coast. That whole wherever way you go. Well, in the South is better for that. The mountain ranges and stuff. Going through Kentucky and looking at all that scenery, way better. Indianapolis is like it's a metropolis. It's crazy.
I've been there years ago. We've got another guest, Pat Cummings, in the back.
No idea.
No idea. Pat, welcome.
Yes. Thanks for inviting me in the show. Jack Talcott. Jake, I have a question. What's your response to Santi Machine, who is currently watching you right now? What's your response?
Is this Yoda calling in from the fucking whatever Yoda planet was?
No.
What the fuck is this?
My voice is like this. There is no other choice but to respond to you like this. So, what is your response to the cream of the crop watching you right now? The greatest show in hell.
Oh, I see. Demonically possessed. He has no other choice but to use his voice because he is, in fact, not speaking on his own behalf, but on behalf of something that's running his lips. Apparently.
So what I would say is keep watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for restreaming. For those who find their way here, please remember to subscribe at Jack Talcott, the original. Over on here, like and share this with others. Thank you for the promotion. Yeah, I think I'm ready to shut down.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need to get out of here. But thanks.
Would you like to discuss your recent behavior towards me? Or would you like to discuss your opinions?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to like tear you apart on your own panel here.
You'll just do it when I'm not around. You'll do it.
I mean, no. I did it very much to your face on Flow States last night. Do you want to get to it here?
Yeah, well, that's true too. You did it there as well.
I mean, you can continue to surround yourself with people like King Stephen, who's going to send such amazing support, like the panelists who just came on here, and distract you with all sorts of, bread and circuses.
What have you brought?
Whatever.
What
If
have
you
you
don't see
got?
the value, nobody sees the value in what I brought. Mr. Jack Talcott's going to ask what I brought. If you don't see
Not
what I
today.
brought, you can go fuck yourself. That's
Not,
what I told you in
not
person.
today. Not today for sure. And you sure as
Okay.
fuck didn't find the value in me, even when I gave you the keys. I gave you all sorts of respect. You didn't see any value in me. You pissed off a bunch of my viewers, tried to take control. And when I told you you were crossing the line, you threw a little fucking fit. So, Truther, yeah, you talk shit about me online, and I'm doing it right now. But I'm going to wrap it up sincerely because, brothers and sisters, love is what I'm about. And I don't need the approval of others. I'd appreciate it. It certainly feels better when we know that others approve, when we know that we have support and acceptance. But I know I've got support. I know I've got acceptance. Brothers and sisters, for those of you who do care, and I know there's many of you, I've been reminded, right? There's people who've reached out while I've been traveling. There's people who've reached out just simply because of my absence. I recognize that people do notice. And so for those of you who notice, for those of you who accept, for those of you who are aligned with me and you accept, well, you are a part of this. We are this adventure of life. We're just in different places, but it's the same time. And if you're aligned with me, brothers and sisters, stay tuned. Because when I found this Live Without Fear, I started to get excited, imagining the possibilities that God might have in store behind that. And my life has become an adventure, but it's an adventure that I love. Did you know you can live the life of your dreams despite the current conditions? Did you know you can start loving your life in spite of the conditions? You can love the life you've been given and start creating the life of your dreams if you give yourself permission. Here's what I found, and I think this is a key. It makes sense if you follow the logical steps, and maybe I'll write this out one day soon too. But it's the practice that I've made for myself. I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I have devoted me to God. It does not matter what the future brings. My purpose is to walk with love and to stay with the truth, to be honest, to be kind, to be forgiving, to be more Christ-like in my presence. Why? Because the rewards inside are incredible. I've become addicted to the deliciousness of God. Devote yourself to God, and guess what? You will find your self-worth. You'll find it because you'll be aligning yourself with righteousness. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and God's righteousness. When you find God's righteousness, that which is righteous, that which is true for you at that time in that situation, you align yourself with the righteousness. You align yourself with God. And when you align yourself with God, I predict my life will be shown to have been evidence, right? I've been practicing this, and yeah, I don't have a home. I don't have all these things, but God has kept me healthy. God has kept me safe. God has kept me comfortable. God being the universe, being the life, the experience I'm living, somehow, some way, God has kept me alive, safe, comfortable my whole life. I just didn't know how safe, how healthy, how comfortable I was. And I sure didn't know how safe, how healthy, or how comfortable I might become because I never tried. Brothers and sisters, if you'll join me, let these words be a reminder for you. Try and see how much better things can be with you, through you, for you. How much better can things be? There was another point I wanted to swing back to, but I'm going to wrap it up here. Sincerely, I did. I didn't get a lot of sleep in Kansas City. It was a wonderful time collaborating with our friend Powder Dusty and Flow State, but I didn't get a lot of sleep, so traveled today. I'm going to hit the bed early, I think, and tomorrow I'll be back on the road. When I return the next time online, I'm not sure, so please do the subscribe thing, tune in. And if you have ideas, let's join this. Let's see if we can make some stuff happen by next week. Just do what you can. Do what you want. I'm going to wrap it up there, sincerely. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all, and peace.